to what's at stake tonight. Back to politics. Ashley Pratt and Sean Noble on the chances of Donald Trump pulling a 5-state sweep. Now, Pennsylvania, Ashley, makes it a dicey call given the 54 delegates that will be uncommitted when all is said and done. But the thinking seems to be that if Donald Trump won the state, he'd eventually get those delegates. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's right, Neil. I mean, the delegates are obviously in play. They have delegates that are unbound, which means they go to the convention supporting whomever they want on that first ballot. But I think at that point, Trump will be so close to getting 1237 that he's going to really make an argument then to those unbound delegates saying, look, I am within 50 to 60 votes of being the nominee. This is why I deserve it. I won the state fair and square. And that they will probably be persuaded by that argument. We're starting to see a lot of GOP members and delegates actually warming to the idea of a Trump nomination. So I think as we start seeing more of that and kind of gears shift into place, Reince Priebus coming out and saying there's a message of unity at the convention, that will really play in Donald Trump's favor.
You know, Sean, we're getting word now that Governor Kasich is going to meet with Indiana Governor Mike Pence today. Pence has not committed any candidate at this juncture. He has met with the other candidates himself, but is again committed to no one. Indiana is probably the next crucial battleground because that's a week from today. 57 delegates at stake there. And I would imagine for Ted Cruz, that's his Waterloo. He's got to do well there, right?
There's no question. It is absolutely his Waterloo. That's his real big last chance to get a big chunk of delegates before they go into California. And if he wins Indiana, then the California becomes a total toss-up. And I think that Ashley's right that there's some of the GOP establishment that's beginning to accept it. I don't know if that they're actually warming to Trump candidacy or nomination, but this is going to be, Indiana is crucially important. And I think that the delegates, the 54 unbound delegates in Pennsylvania, I believe a lot of those are going to be Cruz people who are going to be very loyal to Cruz, and they're not going to be persuaded by Trump if he's close. I think Trump's going to have to get to 1237.
But what if Trump wins the state? What if Trump wins Pennsylvania? Would that uncommitted slate or many in that uncommitted slate still go with Cruz nevertheless?
Well, yeah, because I think the delegate would say, well, I got elected as a Cruz delegate in my congressional district.
Gotcha. Actually, looking at this now, then if somehow Cruz could turn it around in this deal or this pact he's made with Kasich, where Kasich ceases and desists in Indiana, obviously the fact that Kasich is meeting with Governor Pence in Indiana leads me to believe that Kasich might not be sticking to that arrangement. What do you think of that?
On paper, this plan made sense, right? I mean, the two who are the anti-Trump candidates in the race should bind together, but they should have done it a long time ago. Doing it now makes absolutely no sense. Now we're seeing reports again that Kasich is meeting with Governor Pence, and he also said yesterday that in no way is he telling supporters in Indiana to vote for Cruz. So that kind of puts, again, a damper on that deal that he made with Cruz, saying that, hey, I'm going to step back in Indiana, I'll focus on New Mexico and Oregon, which, by the way, those two states are proportional, so Cruz still could pick up delegates in those two states. So they're still going to split the vote, which is the ultimate goal of this deal, is to prevent Donald Trump from being the nominee. So they really need to bind together if they plan to do that, and they really need to stay out of each other's way. But then again, they're both running for the same spot, so that's kind of hard to do.
I'm always suspicious of these so-called pacts when they form them. We'll watch closely. Go ahead, Sean, you were going to say?
I was going to say that any time in politics when you have a coalition, it's always going to fall apart. It's never going to hold together. Kasich quickly realized, hey, wait a minute, my chances of becoming Trump's vice president go down if I join with Cruz, so I can't do that.
And the oddity was he was polling best in Indiana. So why would you give up the state where you at least had a logical chance of doing okay? But who am I to judge, as the Pope would say? All right, thank you guys very, very much. We've got Maryland delegate David Bechtel on all of